Hello, my name is Teray Johnson, and in this screencast, I'll be giving a reflective tour of my six attribute maps based on Malcolm Knowles' adult learning theory. As I walk through each attribute, I'll briefly explain the purpose behind my questions, the meaning of the visuals I selected, and how each attribute influences the way I think about learning and teaching. Together, these six attributes highlight how adult learning is intentional, experience driven, and deeply connected to real life application. Starting with attribute one, need to know. This map focuses on helping adult learners understand why learning matters before they fully engage. My questions ask learners to consider the benefits, relevance, and real world application of the content. I chose a library background with books and floating letters to symbolize knowledge, curiosity, and ideas coming to life. This attribute reminds me that adults are more motivated when they clearly understand the purpose behind learning. In practice, I would apply this by always explaining the why before introducing new content. Attribute 2 focuses on self concept, which emphasizes the adults see themselves as self directed learners. The questions encourage independence, reflection, and ownership of learning. The chalkboard and pencil background represents a space where learning can be shaped, erased, and rebuilt by the learner. This attribute is meaningful to me because it reinforces the importance of giving learners choice and voice. I would apply this by creating learning environments where adults feel empowered to guide their own growth. Attribute 3 highlights the role of experience in adult learning. The questions prompt learners to reflect on prior knowledge, challenges, and real life encounters related to the content. I chose a background filled with clocks to represent the passage of time and the experiences the adults bring with them. This attribute reminds me that learning becomes more meaningful when past experiences are valued and shared. In practice, I would encourage discussion, reflection, and peer learning to connect new ideas to lived experiences. Attribute 4 focuses on readiness, which connects learning to personal and professional growth. The questions emphasize confidence, adaptability, decision making, and preparation for future challenges. The curved pathway background symbolizes moving forward even when the destination isn't fully visible. This attribute shows me that readiness is about trusting preparation and embracing growth. I would apply this by supporting learners through transitions and encouraging confidence when facing new challenges. Attribute 5 centers on orientation, meaning learning is problem centered and focused on real world application. My questions encourage learners to think about how learning applies to everyday tasks and challenges. The colorful light bulb surrounded by black and white words represents clarity and the moment learning becomes meaningful. This attribute reinforces that adults learn best when content solves real problems. I would apply this by designing learning experiences that are practical, relevant, and immediately useful. The final attribute, motivation, focuses on what drives adults to engage and persist in learning. The workspace background with the notepad, coffee plant, and keyboard represents preparation, energy, growth, and action. The green question boxes symbolize progress and forward momentum. This attribute is important to me because it highlights both intrinsic and extrinsic motivation. I would apply this by creating supportive learning environments that recognize effort, provide feedback, and connect learning to personal goals. In conclusion, these six attributes maps represent my understanding of how adults learn best through purpose, independence, experience, readiness, application, and motivation. Creating these maps help me reflect on my own learning journey and how I can design more meaningful learning experiences for others. Together, they reinforce that effective adult learning is intentional, learning centered, and grounded in real world relevance. Thank you for taking the time to review my reflective tour.